Today on FluTac, we'll talk about why I am done with the MDT Field Stock. Stick around. Welcome back, Gunslingers. It's your host, the Faceless Gunslinger, and today we're going to talk about my final review of the MDT Field Stock and just some recent developments from my previous video that I supplied. Before we begin, I just want to make sure I have a clear weapon. So what I'm going to do here today is put the bolt back, give you guys down in YouTube land to see the breech. You see that there's nothing there. And we have a clean operation and bolt of the Remington 700 ADL inside the MDT Field Stock. So you might say, why? Why listen to me? There's millions of YouTubers out there, a lot more people, a lot more subscribers. I only have 1,700. Thank you for each and every one, by the way. But why listen to me? You know, why wish that this guy ran about the MDT stock? Well, here's the deal. I mean, even though that my videos definitely aren't the best quality and a whole bunch of different stuff, and I'm still learning this YouTube journey, which has been fun, and thank you for guys who've been sticking around. I do have experience. You know, I served in the United States Army. I also was an infantry officer in the United States Army, served overseas in Iraq twice. And not only that, I've been a firearm enthusiast since I was a kid, starting off with water guns, then moving to airsoft guns, to then BB guns, and then finally to good old, real still American firepower. So I've been, you know, I purchased my first firearm almost 20 years ago. I've held my concealed carry license for years, over a decade now, just about, I believe. So I know a little bit about firearms, and I'm very passionate about it. And I want to make sure that you, just like me out there, the average person who's working out there every day, can make sure you have a good product. So the MDT Field Stock, I'll place a link on the other ones I did before for the review. But here's the problem. Basically up front, I wanted to have a stock that can have the AIACS magazine, which stands for the Accurate International Chassis System, which was developed by the military, pretty much to have a 10-round magazine for your bolt gun here. And, you know, so I really wanted to have that capability as a person that had this. I looked at different stocks at the time, and this one popped up, relatively good reviews, cost me roughly a little more than $300, and I thought this was perfect. The problem I have here is just recently, and I'll be self-admittant here in a second, I'll show you a video, but I had some reservations about just certain parts of the stock, and it came true. So recently while I was out shooting some video and great content for you guys, I came across that really big crack here in the back. Right just above the pistol grip and where the receiver kind of meets with the metal part and everything like that. So I'm pretty sure you guys can see that. So pretty significant crack there for the rifle. And it still is relatively sturdy, but for me, it's just, for a person that believes in having your weapon ready, and, you know, I don't want to ever be in a situation where I'm either in the field or whatever may need and have to use this weapon system for whatever reason, even if it's at the range, that it comes falling apart or something happens to it. And but before I finish up here, just want to show you guys an update. This is probably the reason why this is cracked. So I will be transparent and show you what I did shooting one of these videos. So take a look. So as you can see, I'm a little bit rough with my weapons, but As a person that really wants to make sure that when the time comes, my weapon systems are functional and operational, or be able to survive harsh conditions, I really want to be able to test these certain things. That particular video you just watched was really just trying for me to see if my Remington 700 will go bang with the safety actuated with a live round inside the chamber. Once you be careful, that was at a controlled setting. I was on personal range, so be very, very careful if you're going to try to do that yourself. I recommend you don't do it unless you have control experience and know about firearms. So in the end, the MDT Field Stock. Once again, that was some abuse. And honestly, the average person is probably not going to put that type of abuse through your rifle. But, just that little experience I had really showed me that this stock isn't for me. So the next question you might have, say, hey, get faceless gunslinger. So yeah, we saw that, but what's next? For me, I don't get paid by anybody. You can see that I only have 1,700 subscribers. So I have absolutely zero endorsements. But for my time back in the 2000s, in 2008, when I purchased Magpul magazines and I used them overseas, I have been a very, very big fan of Magpul. Once again, I'm not getting endorsed at all, but before this, I didn't even realize, or maybe I've overlooked it, but Magpul actually makes a stock for the Remington 700 chassis and the action, short action. So I've got that on order right now, and more likely, if you guys like this video, I'll do a review on that too as well. So with that being said, I don't know MDT. I'm sure they are a bunch of great people that made it there and things like that. And once again, what I showed you that was excessive, and I don't think that most shooters will be going through that situation where you're dropping your rifle, but it wasn't on the concrete. It was packed hard dirt. It wasn't on concrete or anything, but it did crack this to the point, and like I said, it's visually moving too as well. As you can see the crack here. So I don't think it'll affect the accuracy, and it still shot well afterwards, but just something I'm not willing to risk because I expect a lot of my weapons and firepower. So with that being said, thank you guys for looking. Appreciate it. I just want to give you an update on that for those who are following this channel, because like I said, for me, every single penny counts, and I take a lot of pride in my firearms, and I got value from other YouTubers out there I've been watching over the years that provide detailed information about their weapon systems and stuff like that. So for what's worth, once again, thank you guys very much for your time. Make sure you shoot straight, make sure you shoot safe, and do not be a victim. See you guys on the next